Hello guys, TKG is here for your comfortable LostArk life. In this video, I'd like to cover the newly released class Soul Eater. As the LostArk guy was curious about the Soul Eater class, so I thought it'd be great to show and preview some of the infos for your LostArk journey. Now follow me, I'll show you what you need. Before I start this video, one thing you gotta know, this video is from the KL server. And of course, it is based on the KL statistic and common experience right now, as the LostArk always try to fix the balance between the class by classes. So in the future, some of the composition of the skills can be changed too. And the whole translation of the skill is done by me, so after the release, the terms and words can be changed too. And one more thing, Soul Eater is still now on research in KL, as the class itself hasn't been long since it released, so some of the composition, engraving, combat stat setting can be changed in the future. So watch this video as just previewing the Soul Eater class and use this video as your reference before the release of the Soul Eater. Soul Eater is newly released on July 19th, 2023 in KL server. As the class is recent released, most of the skill builds is now on the research, and some of the build is now on stabilizing. So in order to see a full performance or the full efficiency, we need to a little bit wait more for that. One special thing of the Soul Eater is her identity. As you can see in this video, she has two identity meters. It's called Yeonseok, Soul Stone, which looks like a stone, and the typical identity meters called as Pingi, Possession meters, which make her to Sashino, more like becoming a Reaper. So in this status, her Sashin, Reaper skills damage got all enhanced during the possessions. So let me make you a little easy to understand. Those Yeonseok, Soul Stone is more like a Warden's identity, like a break of the skill usage. So we have 3, right? So that means you can use the 3 Sashin skills. If you wish to use the Sashin skills again, you need to fill up the Soul Stone meter again. Each stone is separate. That means if you fill up 1, you can use the 1 Sashin skills. Down below, Pingi, Possession meters is more like a sorcerer's amplification meters, like Igniters. You get the power up in a short period of time. But unlike the Igniter sorceries, when the possession state is active, whole Sashin skill cooldown will be renewed and decrease to 50% and fill up the whole soulstone meters, which looks pretty cool. But like I said, it is a break. Unlike the sorceries, doesn't matter whatever you use the skill during the amplified status, Soul Eater has a soulstone break. In other words, you have only 3 chances to do the damage dealing during the possession status. Let's start with the most basic one first. Class engraving I use in this video is Manoreji Pengja, Executioners of Full Moon. Manoreji Pengja will give you a lot of advantage during the Reaper form. Manoreji Pengja will increase the critical rate of herself and also increase the Sashin skills during the Reaper form. And of course, it'll decrease the Sashin skills cooldown when the Reaper form is active. And using Soulstone will give you a slight identity recovery. As you might expect, her backbone combat stat is specializations. I think the most typical build in Soul Eater in KR right now. With the critical stat, it has a nice efficiency with the Kimblom weapons and hallucination set, so you can utilize identity whenever you want. In my personal experience, these 3 engravings are quite fixed to use: Grudge, Kimblom weapons, and a class engravings. And you can utilize or choose from the Adrenals, Curstal, Hitbusters, and Raid Captain. Come to think of it, in the LostArk official livestream, they are now trying to tone it down the entropy set, so Soul Eater is free to use between the Nightmares and Hallucination set. And you might be thinking, why this specialization critical build using the Raid Captain? Well, that question can be answered with some skills. Luna the Gauge and her identity, during the activation of the Reaper form, she can get the movement speed buff, self buff, and with the combination with the support, she can get the full efficiency with the Raid Captain too. But of course, it can be a little annoyed about maintaining the movement speed buff too, so the choice is yours. With the Nightmare settings, skill cycle can be a little simpler than the Hallucination set, because you need to wait for the Nightmare buff. In other words, that means you have to wait for the Nightmare buff to be turned on and activate the Reaper form. Might be great, but in my personal experience, those waiting time is quite not that pleasant experience. And of course, due to this reason, you need to manage your skill combos and cycle more carefully to make it to show you a full DPS performance. Not to mention you could have a slight lower critical rate than the hallucination set. But as I keep mentioning, Soul Eater build is not that quite fixed right now, at least I think. it is still under research. Still, the KL players are now searching for the efficiency. So that means some of the builds also can be added in the near future. But personally, I think build up 만월의 집행자, class engraving are now entering the formalization phase. Soul Reader is a recent released class, but she can be part of the main DPS class. In my personal experience right now, I think she could show you a great or decent DPS performance inside of the whole raid. And without Sashina, Reaper form, she could also show you a decent DPS performance. And I think she is quite capable on raid gimmicks too, especially on the stagger gimmicks. And unlike the intricate and complicated structures of the first look of Soul Reader, she is quite easy to access for the beginners right now, except for the cost. I mean, just wow. Cost needs some more time to get stabilized. As you expect, her main or core combat stat are specialization stat. She could have some heavy controls, and unlike the sorceress has a little free hand during the identity activation, Soul Eater has a break called Soulstone. In other words, you can only use the main DPS skill, called Sashin skills, 3 times. Yep, maximum 3 times. So if you are expecting some speedy damage dealing actions during her identity active, that can be a little hard to find out. And above all, big barriers, cost is waiting for you right now. Engraving books, accessories are expensive to start right now for the beginners. I think the biggest reason of the Soul Eater popularity right now is coming from the structures and the design of the Soul Eaters. Soul Eater is easy to know and manage the skills during the whole contents, but also it has cool skill moves and effects too. If you want to be a main DPS role in the raid or other contents, this class is just for you. Also, I want powerful and stylish concept class with great or decent damage performance. This class is just right for you. But still, you need to keep in mind about those costs too. Might looks intricate and complicated, her mechanism is quite simple and easy to know. Her skill composition right now is like this. And as you expect, her skill function is categorized by the colors. Blue skill is Mangja skills. If I had to translate, skill of the dead, it would be more closer meaning. Role of the Mangja skill is for your identity supply, but it is not limited to certain part. Both identity soulstone and possession meters can be filled with Mangja skills, and of course with the Sashin skills too. Almost every skill will fill up the identity meters, but Mangja skill especially fill up the identity more in their skill composition. Sashin skill, Reaper skill, which you can recognize with the color, purple or pink or whatever, is the main DPS skills. Yep, truly the backbone of the Soul Eater skill compositions. But as I mentioned in the previous explanations, I mean on the Mangja skill sections, Sashin skill also can be part of the filling of the identity meters, like Adversary Rect on Sorcerers. Decent damage performance in the normal form, and it can show you a great damage performance with the Reaper form. So what will happen when you've changed your form into Reaper? Activating Reaper will fill up the whole Soulstone meters and renew your Sashin skills cooldown. I mean purple skill cooldown. Almost you can immediately use a Sashin skill for your next skill cycle. And when your Reaper form turned off, it will immediately fill up the Soulstone meters so that you can reutilize your skill again for your next skill cycle. But as I mentioned, you are only allowed to use Sashin skill 3 times during the Reaper form. More like a hard break during the Reaper form. Might looks great, but somehow it can make you a little frustrated by those breaks. As I mentioned in the beginning, she has a quite decent movement speed buff in a skill and an identity. With the combination of the Spurn Yearning, she can get the full efficiency from the Raid Captain Engraving. Lunatic Edge is an example for that. Also, Lunatic Edge skill is an inseparable sealer too, with a short cooldown, and she could almost maintain the movement speed buff even with the level 7 Crimson Gem. And in my personal experience, because of this decent functionality on the movement speed buff, I think I never felt some discomfort of her movement speed during the whole raid. I think her mechanism is quite a decent advantage for actual gameplay. Somehow I felt like, she was like an easy to handle skill and a cycle inside of the whole actual raid. Mechanism of the skill cycle, skill combo, is quite simple. In order to see a full DPS performance through the gameplay, you need to fill up her identity first. As I mentioned in the previous skill composition chapter, her Sashin skills also can be utilized on filling up her identity meters. So, filling up the identity with every skill combo, and then turn on identity, slight touch with the synergy, and start to pour the main skill. Soul Reader also has a great performance on the dailies. Due to a long and wide area of skills, she is quite capable on PvE contents, even without a betrayal set. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching everyone, and always thanks for your big support. Hope this video was really helpful for your LostArk journey. Hope to see this new class in the global server soon. And of course, if you liked my videos, hit the sub for more upcoming infos. I'll come back with more useful infos in the next video.